well of late. They had a tough game against Philly, but other than that, they've played extremely well in the last 2 weeks.
Igor Larionov just won himself another face-off. It slides to Russell just inside the Calgary blue line as the fourth game of the six-game NHL Soviet Series is underway from the Stampede Corral. Bernard for McDonald inside the blue line. Krutov broke that up. Flames get possession again. Rise for a left wing. Lets a long shot go. Mushkin gloves that. They'll stop the play 24 seconds into the game.
And what Mushkin did right there, Don, is a little dangerous. He starts reaching all the time for low shots on the leg side that's away from his stick. And oft times, you know, you can misplay it or you can give a rebound. That's a little dangerous for him to do that.
Riseborough won the faceoff that time. McDonald has it on the boards in behind the net now, trying to make a play out in front. They get it back over on the other side. There's no one there but Larionov of the Soviet Union. Flames forechecking well now, but the Soviets break so quickly as they so often do. Timonev chasing it down against Russell in the corner. Goaltender Edwards out of there to help. Comes up the boards to Lanny McDonald. Bernard for Riseborough. Riseborough closing in. Backhand shot. Rebound. Picked up by Fetisov. The Soviet captain, Vyacheslav Fetisov, comes across the blue line. Krutov back inside, onside. Quick shot is handled by Edwards from the stick of Larionov.
Wayne, when you were going to play against the Russians the other night, you knew Mushkin was going to start. Did you people have any different feeling having him in the net versus Tretiak?
Well, I think that we have such a young hockey team that we're in kind of an awe playing against Tretiak. I think we all saw the series of '72, and like I said, being a younger hockey team, it probably had a psychological effect to us that when we saw that he was starting, might have got us a little bit more excited.
Did you expect to shoot more because he was in the net?
Well, I think that against the Soviet hockey team that you have so many problems getting a second shot after original shot from the point that we wanted to take as many shots as possible and be on top of the goalie at all times.
Kent Nielsen now skates to the face-off against Sergei Shepelev. Nielsen winning it. Soviets have possession in there. Shalimov turning the wheel, couldn't get a shot away. Lavallee got his stick on it and leaves it for Nielsen. Rink wide over to Paul Reinhardt. Reinhardt lead pass to Lavallee is right on the goaltender Mushkin. High off the glass for Nielsen. Nielsen going down there. No penalty called on the play. They bump to hold it in. The Soviets come up with it. Vazakov to his own blue line. And now the defenseman Sergei Babinov booms one. Deflected wide by Steve Conroy. In the Calgary corner in the early minutes, Lavallee slightly passed across the ice. Babinov intercepts, forced outside the line by Conroy. Here is the dangerous Kapustin for Shepelev. Couldn't get the pass to it. Shalimov carries on in behind. Pierre Rioux comes on to help out for Calgary. And Rioux, just recalled from the minor leagues, feeds it at center ice. Babinov left it there. Lavallee could not get around the Soviet player. And Vazakov comes back with Shalimov. Shalimov to an open wing. Jamie Hislop for Calgary. He passed blindly to a Soviet player. Starikov. Vasilyev leads it inside the line for Bykov. He was bumped there by Heinmarsh. Comes right in front, and Edwards has to pounce on it. They stop the play. About 2.5 minutes into period one. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. From Calgary, a scoreless first period. Don Chevrier with Lou Nanne and Wayne Gretzky with you for the fourth game of this series. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are across Canada. The Flames again, as they have done so often, smartly move it out of their own zone. Starikov left it there. Richmond's long rolling shot for Heinmarsh. He couldn't find it. In behind, they dump it out in front for Heinmarsh. And Bykov shoots it down the ice wide. The Soviets clearing it are going to be called for icing. Is done. Is back to collect it for Calgary.
Well, Calgary got a couple of good shots early, and that's what they have to do is just keep pressing the Soviets, trying to get some shots. If they could get a goal on Mushkin, they might upset the whole team. As Wayne was saying earlier, you play a little differently depending on the goaltender, and sometimes when you don't have as much confidence, you start to try things that normally you wouldn't do, and that could upset the Soviets' game plan.
Much had been made before Calgary of the size of this rink being small, but Lou Nanne checked it. Only a foot shorter than the regulation 200, perhaps less than a foot, so it shouldn't be a factor. Of course, The ice surface here not nearly as wide as the Soviets have it back at home, and that will affect their game, if anything will. Semenov takes it across the blue line, dumps the pass in there. They try to center it out from number 26, Sportsov. Flames doing an effective job in their own zone. Edwards with it now, will feed it around the boards for Jackson. Jackson dumps it for Russell in behind. Now it is number 15, Svetlov, taking it down the boards, and he in turn is taken down as they bump forward there in the Calgary corner. Poplinski goes in now against Svetlov, the Soviet player losing his balance. And Poplinski finally helps him clearing it down the ice. We approach the 4-minute mark. There is no score. Pervukin or Svetlov. Sportsov to Svetlov inside the blue line. Lanny McDonald feeds it across the ice to Paul Reinhardt. Conroy got turned around. Play very scrambly at this stage. No team getting a decided edge here. The Soviets being met at the blue line by Calgary and turned back. This is Krutov backpedaling as the Soviet national team likes to do. Bilyaletdinov, stationed now behind his own goal, forms the play up the left side. Hops over a stick. Good forechecking by Riseborough, pressing the Soviets back in. Pervukin gets it across to Krutov. Now Larionov's long pass drifts all the way down beside Edwards' net. The Flames, more than holding their own with the Soviets here in the early going, have not had many great scoring chances, though. The puck has been inside the Calgary blue line the majority of the time, but now here come the Calgary Flames. Lanny McDonald streaks down the right side. Tries to dump it in front. Is thwarted there by Kazatanov. McDonald with a world of experience against the Soviets behind him. Headed out for Riseborough. Bumped off the puck by Kazatanov. With Timyanev. Drops the puck there. Timyanev shot. Out comes Edwards for a sparkling save. The best save so far. Fetisov winding. Blocked there. There's going to be a penalty called by referee Brian Lewis. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment.
Dougie Riseborough coming back to help out. Gets a penalty right in front of the net. You see him take the Soviet player Larionov down. He'll be going off for tripping. Soviets on the first power play of the evening.
Calgary a man short of the 5:28 mark. The Soviets good on only 2 of 17 power plays in this series against National Hockey League teams. Shalimov now. The right face-off circle digs it across the ice. Here is Vozakov. Back to Shalimov. Down behind the net they go, jamming it out in front. Comes all the way over on the far side for Babinov. And a weak shot from Vozakov. Slammed down the ice for the Calgary Flames. A minute 30 left in Riseborough's penalty for Calgary. Kapustin stopping inside the line, trying to feed Shalimov. A stick check there, and it is fired down the ice by Kent Nielsen, who has faced the Soviets 15 to 20 times, he estimates, and is still frustrated by them, as so many pros and other European players are. Shalimov across the ice, in behind Kapustin, who gets his stick on it once again for the Soviet Union. Then smartly checked. It is dug out by Poplinski. The Flames now are halfway through, very effectively killing off the Soviet power play. We say it is the one thing the Soviets have not done exceptionally well. That is execute the power play on this tour. Fetisov booms one wide. Russell, the big defenseman, up the boards with it. Fails to clear. Now Russell comes in, tackles the Soviet player. They go down on a foul. No penalty call. The face-off. 32 seconds left of the penalty. Wayne?
The one thing that I think the Soviets said that they're going to do coming over and playing this series is go back and correct the things that they think they can correct to help their hockey game. And if you notice, the one thing they're doing a lot different this time over than past years is they're not taking their time on their power plays. They're taking a lot of shots. Therefore, I think that they're getting very frustrated and may change that.
It is dug back to Kazatanov across to Fetisov. Down to the left face-off circle it goes. Back to the point man. Fetisov, Kazatanov, he fakes the shot, slides it across the ice to Krutov. Reinhardt for Calgary to Hisla. Two Soviet players pounce on him. That's one they do very well. They seem to be everywhere the puck is. But Calgary clears it down the ice. 8 seconds left now in Riseborough's penalty for tripping. No score in the game. Soviets heading back up the ice again. Larionov gets it down inside the blue line. Back on the ice. Riseborough. Calgary at full swing. Riseborough passing it out. Grenard for Riseborough. McDonald for Schward. He can't get his stick on it. And now here comes Krutov, 1-on-2. Calgary defenders back quickly. Krutov gets it across. Larionov could not collect the pass. And for the Calgary Flames, Bergeron beating on the right side. McDonald just missed him. Here's Krutov. Skates smartly around Dunn and got bumped off the puck. Bykov as the Soviets backpedal once again. Fedosov's had a long shift this time. Bykov brings it inside the blue line. Now Fedosov goes to the bench. Semenov back on the left point to Gamayev. Starikov. Riseborough checks him. They hold it there. Dug free by the Soviet player. Gerasimov. Puck almost given away to Vasilyev. Then hit out to center ice where Bykov has it. Soviets have had the edge territorially, but have not been overpowering inside that Calgary blue line. Gerasimov bumped there, and it forced them to go back and regather.
Calgary just lining up with the line there, Don, trying to keep him from getting inside the zone.
Like the Great Wall of China. They just stand there and bump them as they come in. It's been fairly effective so far. The puck down the Calgary corner as they push and shove for it. Makasak trying to dig it free, works it up the boards, held in by Starikov. Quick shot. Gamayev's blast goes high off the glass over the top of the Calgary goal. Sportsov lets one go. Edwards comes out. Bykov digging after it to Sportsov. Tipped back to Starikov. He shot wide. Indeed, the Soviets are shooting much more frequently than we've seen in previous years. A quick shot by Svetlov is turned aside by Edwards, who's busy right now. They're at full strength. You think the Soviets had a power play. It is golfed down the ice. There's the second penalty of the game called by referee Brian Lewis. It'll be going to Bridgman of the Calgary Flames. They'll be shorthanded again. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment.
As we look at Bridgman getting an elbowing penalty, we talked to Tikhonov yesterday about the Soviet idea on the power play. They definitely are playing two men down by the net. What they try and do is tie up both defensemen, have their sticks on the inside to tip any shot aimed towards the net. At the same time, open an alley, hopefully to get some of the defensemen or the center coming right up the middle for a good shot.
So Bridgman off for elbowing, the kind of penalty that Calgary cannot afford to take. Unnecessary. Quebec Nordique's guilty of that in game 2. Shalimov for the Soviet Union. Very patiently now as they try to slow the pace of this power play, which now is only 2 for 18. They missed earlier tonight. Verbuchen plays it down, gets it back. Bilyaletdinov shot is blocked by the Calgary defense. Still a minute and a half left in Bridgman's penalty, but it does come back down the ice. 9 minutes and 30 seconds to play in this a scoreless first period so far. Sergei Kapustin digs it over on the far side to Shepelev on the left wing. Then back to Verbuchen. Bilyaletdinov could not pop it. It popped outside the blue line. It's offside there. 1:09 left in Bridgman's penalty.
What the Calgary Flames have to realize is no matter what happens during the hockey game, they have to be very patient. They can't take any unnecessary penalties. Sooner or later, the Soviets are going to start scoring goals. They can't be held off that long. They have to be patient and make sure they play good, sound hockey.
Right. This NHL Soviet Series 83 is protected by copyright and is played under authority of the National Hockey League and the NHL Players Association. A little over a minute left in Bridgman's sentence for the Calgary Flames. An elbowing penalty. Kazatonov reaches the Flames blue line. Fedosov winding. That shot was blocked by Heinmarsh. Kazatonov, Fedosov loves to boom them from the point. That also blocked by Calgary and shot down the ice. don't know about shots on goal, but in the direction of the goal, the Soviets have an overwhelming edge. Timonev lays it down for Krutov. Krutov had a man right in front of the goal. Couldn't get the puck to him. Lariana. Again, Calgary cleared. Officially, 4-2. The Soviets leading in shots directly on goal. 15 seconds now, and the Bridgman penalty remains. Reinhart taps it off the boards. Again, the Flames looking as though they've been successful in killing this power play off. Timonev stalled, but Krutov carries on. Bridgman out of the box now. They're in full swing. Krutov being contained along the boards. Larionov gets it across the left side. Gamayev, and a hard shot goes wide by Krutov. Fetisov blasts it away. Out to LaValle. LaValle ahead at center ice. Back for LaValle. Down the left boards he goes. In front of the goalie is a man open. Can't get the pass out to him. Reinhart keeping it in for Calgary. Around for Nilsson, and out across the goal mouth it comes, and all the way down the ice. Dunn wins the race against Timonev. 7 minutes, 35 seconds to play. Reinhart goes down. No penalty call. Vasilyev shot to the side. Good save by Edwards. Deflected up into the crowd. NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. No score, and that's the time remaining here in the first period as we await the face-off to Edwards' left. Bykov will take the draw for the Soviets against Jim Pavlinsky for Calgary. Pavlinsky wins it, left there for Dunn. Up the boards, relayed by Jackson out to center ice. Starikov has to hurry to get a pass off to Bykov. Drop for Vasilyev. He shot from just across the center red line. Bourgeois around the boards for Jackson. Jim Jackson skating out with it. Mokosak takes the pass. Beats Pavlinsky, shoots wide on the short side with Pushkin going the other way. Vyacheslav Bykov drills it down to the left Calgary corner. Edwards around the boards. Pavlinsky chops at it, can't clear. Semenov falling into the boards, checked there by Richie Dunn. Now a penalty has been called as Semenov and Dunn mixed it up along the sideboard. 6:28 left. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. Well, here enjoying it now, and a chance for the Calgary Flames, Lunati, to have a power play as Gerasimov is off for holding.
Gerasimov was holding Richie Dunn after Dunn had taken him down along the boards, wouldn't let him back into the play.
And the Flames have had one of the more productive power plays in the National Hockey League of late. Soviets are just 2 for 19 now in the series. Scoreless first period, 6:15 to go in it. Nilsson could not take it inside the Soviet blue line. Edwards leaving it for Bridgman. Now Reinhart coming out with it for Calgary. Blasts it down to the corner. Flames pouring in after it. It's called icing against Calgary. That shot came from the Flames half of center ice. Lanny McDonald, of course.
The leading goal scorer in the National League with 35 goals. A very dangerous man anytime he's in shooting area. Great wrist shot. One thing you can look for, Wayne, you probably noticed it the other night, the Soviets have a different idea of killing penalties. They're very aggressive with 3 men. The 4th man floats for a breakaway, and you guys burned them the other night.
Well, when we were winning 3-2, when they took the penalty late in the game, I'd mentioned to Paul Coffey to be careful that Kapustin would probably be trying to score a goal to tie the game up. He went outside his own zone, and we were fortunate enough to score a goal.
Grenard for the Calgary Flames. We still have 1:18 to go in the Soviet penalty. Gerasimov for holding. Reinhart takes the pass inside the blue line. McDonald cruising in there. Grenard. Reinhart got turned around. Now they get it back on the point. Grenard. Grenard again. They're playing catch out there. Now Reinhart. He gets set. Can't get the shot away. Svetlov came out to meet him. Now Reinhart last one. Deflected wide. Bridgman for McDonald. McDonald out to Reinhart. Reinhart being Harris for Nielsen too far. Bridgman in behind again. McDonald. Reinhardt. Lanny McDonald. Mel Bridgman. Lane taking all kinds of time. 27 seconds to go on the penalty. McDonald shoots. Out of it. He's got it. Rebound. 1-0 Calgary.
What a goal Nielsen gets off Lanny McDonald's rebound after a setup by Reinhardt. What a blast by Lanny McDonald, Don, wasn't that? Look at this. He lets it go, a rocket up in the shoulder. Nielsen on the doorstep, couldn't put it in the open net. All caused because of that rocket by McDonald after a nice feed right there by Reinhardt. Look at Nielsen moving on the right side. He's got a free net. Michigan down and out, Wayne. He's probably wondering where that shot came from.
Well, Lanny McDonald's having a tremendous year this season. Anytime on the power play when they're in the Soviet zone, you look for the Calgary Flames to be feeding him at all times. Exactly what happened, and Nielsen was there for the rebound.
So a power play goal gives Calgary the first blood in tonight's game. Long shot down to Edwards. It was Nielsen from Reinhardt and McDonald, 15-10. Calgary won, the Soviets nothing. Look out, there's a chance right on Edwards' doorstep. Flames come back again. Poplinski 2-on-1. He shoots. Rebound. Still loose in there. Picked up by Starikov. Flames with new life after that power play goal. And Michigan certainly felt the force of that first blast from McDonald. Nielsen then finding a wide open net with the Soviet goalie down. First time in 3 games NHL teams have scored on them. McDonald leaving it at the blue line. Backhands it in. It is offside. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. Wayne Gretzky.
Krutov line is a very important factor for this hockey club, and we played our defensive line against them, Davey Hunter and Pat Hughes and Kenny Linsman. We see something a little bit different, Lanny McDonald going right off against Krutov, so it should be very interesting what happens.
If you look for omens, the Soviets have won both times they got the first. It turned out to be the only goal. Now Calgary has scored first here, as Edmonton did, and almost got a second one right there. 3:40 to play in the first period. Icing called against the Soviet Union.
Lanny McDonald with right on the doorstep, a fine shot, a great save by Michigan. Mushkin probably wondering he's seen too much McDonald already. Lanny with that big mustache. Great shot. He's very, very dangerous. Once he hits that blue line, he doesn't slap that puck. He's just got that short wrist shot. Watch him just move to the net. Goal scorers always move to the net. Goal scorers always put the puck on the net.
Ooh,
that's
right
what
there.
he does right there.
Yep. McDonald, an Alberta native, played his junior hockey with Medicine Hat. Now back here in the NHL with the Calgary Flames. Soviets ice it again. Dunn collects it. We have 3:25 left now. The Soviets showing signs of feeling some pressure.
That's the first time we've seen the Soviets ice the puck twice within a 5-minute span, let alone within 20 seconds.
Right.
Wayne, did you people feel that you were going to stifle the Soviets in their own zone, causing them to make long passes, maybe getting to ice the puck?
Well, we knew that Fedosov was a big key to their hockey club, and he does play very well. We wanted to keep the puck away from their defensemen, moving it to the wingers. We want to have the puck as much as possible in their zone, and I think that helped us out.
Here's Nielsen beating Reinhardt. He shot it wide, still loose down there. Gerasimov for the Soviet Union digs it out, takes it inside the line. He lets a shot go. Edwards lost it for a moment, deflected it over top. Flames smartly again coming out. Rio. Nielsen, and it's offside at the Soviet blue line. 1-0 Calgary. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. Viktor Tikhonov, who on this tour has developed a sense of humor of a Johnny Carson compared to former Soviet coaches, Lou.
He must be enjoying the hospitality.
I think he's having a fine time. Here's Nielsen now getting a break across the Soviet blue line. Fed it too far, back between the point man. And Conroy has to go back to beat Reinhardt in the flame zone. 2:45 remaining in the first period. But Calgary has drawn first blood. Rio chasing it down the Soviet zone. Gerasimov. Rink wide. Starikov. Bykov to Starikov again. Wide angle shot. Blocked easily by Edwards, who has done pretty well against Soviet teams. He has beaten them 6-1 and 7-3 in 2 previous outings. 7-3 in the Canada Cup round robin last year. Rio to Conroy. Then for Nielsen inside the Soviet line. Being stick checked there by Gamayev. They bump against the boards. Lavalley jams it in over on the near side. The Soviets finally come up with it. Rick White pass for Krutov. Krutov back into the center again. Couldn't find a man. Now a long league pass for Bridgman goes too far. Vasiliev with 1:43 remaining. Soviets going back into somewhat of a shell now. Calgary with a good second half of this first period has produced a goal. Einmar shoots it in. Ilya Letkinov in behind his own goal. Out to center ice they come. Sheffield. Calgary again. Richmond's long shot. Off the boards it comes. The stick of Pervukin. Then to Sportsov. They go the other way. A little disorganized right now. Kept in by Hislop. In behind the net. Hislop in the corner. Feeding it in front. Hindmarsh couldn't get his stick on it. Sportsov skates against Russell. Jammed against the boards. Cleared it in front. Intercepted by Calgary with a minute to go on the period now. Eloranta. Feeding Bridgman. Nobody out there on the far point. A penalty is called, however. The referee, Brian Lewis, will be the 4th penalty of the night. And this one is going to go to the Soviet Union, to Pervukin. They are now even in penalties at 2 apiece.
The Soviets definitely getting frustrated in their own zone, taking penalties they don't normally take. But more than that, Calgary causing them to give up the puck, not coming out smooth at all, the Soviet team is. And Calgary having some good opportunities. We look at the penalty right in front of the net. Calgary looking extremely sharp. Wayne bottling them up coming out of their own zone.
Calgary's forechecking very well, and what's interesting about the Soviets is they make a tremendous transition from offense to defense and from defense to offense, and Calgary seem to have picked that up and are ready for it at all times tonight.
So an important power play and an extra goal here late in this period would be a mighty big one if the Flames can get it. 40 seconds to go in the penalty, unless they score, of course. It'll spill over until the second period. Reinhardt in behind his own goal. Now they have 30 seconds of playing time remaining. For Nielsen inside the Soviet line. McDonald forcing it back. Bernard's shot hit the goal post. Pushkin did not know where it was. Kept in by Guy Chouinard. Bridgman digs it out of there. Picked up by the Soviets. Kapustin. 6 seconds to play in the period. Sheffield, Kapustin relayed it. Tough save for Edwards, but he made it. Out they come. A long shot by McDonald off the siren to end period 1. And a good first period it was. In particular, the second half of it by the Calgary Flames. We got a goal by Nielsen from Reinhardt and McDonald at 15-10. And the Flames lead the Soviet national team 1-0. And what an ovation they get as they leave the ice from this partisan crowd here in Calgary Stampede Corral. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in just a moment. For assist going to Reinhardt. That's how it stands right now as they face off to begin the second period. Still 1:15 left in Pervukin's penalty, so the Calgary power play continues into this second period. Chouinard to the Soviet blue line, gets it inside. Down goes Reinhardt. Managed to steer it in front as he fell. Krutov can't get it. Chouinard in front. Relay. Saved by Mushkin. Chouinard lets one go. He scores!
Bridgman moving to the front of the net, Don, and Chouinard's shot is deflected by Mushkin. A second power play goal for Calgary with that very, very potent power play of theirs, putting them into a 2-0 lead. Watch the play here. As Bridgman moves to the front, he gets a piece of it. That shot came from the point from Chouinard. Chouinard out at the right side kept it in, and it all was made possible because Krutov was on the left boards. The defenseman tried to get around, got around too hard. It was kept in by Chouinard. There's the deflection.
Power play goal on the time, 9 seconds. Chouinard, unassisted, A power
Well,
play
the
goal.
score rules that Schwinnard got it in cleanly, unassisted at 29 seconds, although it did look like Bridgman might have got a piece of it.
Well, it certainly did. Either they'll change it or then it hit Mushkin's stick. But Bridgman working effectively, as Ed Westfall said before he had in the first power play, right in front of the net. All because of a missed pass from the Soviet defenseman to Krutov, and then keeping the puck in his zone with Schwinnard.
So the Calgary Flames quickly into a 2-0 lead, are 2 for 2 on the power play against the Soviets. Now Pushkin's got a chance, and Edwards blocks that. Shepelev keeping it into Baikov. Dug back for Babinov. Quick shot wide, just wide of the goal by Vozakov. Jackson getting it ahead to Mokosak. Mokosak back to Jackson. His shot stopped by Mushkin. Flames playing with confidence now. Right on goal to go. Tremendous chance there for Karl Mokosak. Could not get his stick on it. Vozakov finally clears for the Soviet Union. A minute 25 into the period. Pavlensky, that is gloved. Steered to the corner by Mushkin. Ahead for Vasiliev, too far, and his shot the length of the ice. Richie Dunn goes back to pick it up, for the Soviets are called for icing. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. Bernard getting Calgary's second goal. Don Chevrier with Wayne Gretzky of the Edmonton Oilers. Lou Nanne of the Minnesota North Stars.
Shepelev was hurt, Don. He had a heavy check by Pavlensky. He's hurt down there.
Soviets have lost a couple of players through injury. Maltsev, hurt in practice, has gone home. Kozhevenikov has missed 2 games now. Soviets inside the Calgary line. Gerasimov could not maintain control. Bumping in behind is Bourgeois. And it's free for Lanny McDonald. His pass off Baikov, taken by Baikov now, steps inside the line, tries to drop it back, can't do so. Baikov, as the Soviets are all over the ice. Vasiliev taken down by McDonald. And McDonald sends Schwinnard away. 2-on-1. Here's Wise for Schwinnard. Shot. Stopped by Mushkin. Bourgeois to McDonald. Lanny McDonald trying to maintain possession. Leaves it for Riseborough. This is a very effective line for the Calgary Flames. Baikov brings it out for the Soviet Union now. Calgary changing on the go. Gerasimov's shot stopped by Edwards. Baikov's wide-angle slap shot was blocked and rolls back to center ice. Starikov to Gamayev. Off the boards for Bourgeois, and he pops it up into the crowd. There'll be a stoppage of play, 3 minutes into period 2. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. Viktor Tikhonov and the Soviet national team not enjoying what they've seen so far tonight. It's been all Calgary, 2-0 Flames. 3 minutes into this second period. Calgary in command. Reinhardt for LaValle. Inside the blue line it goes. For Vukic, it was off for the second Calgary goal on the power play. Feeds it ahead. Semenov digs after it. Icing called against the Soviet Union.
Wayne, we're going to see a face-off now as we look at Paul Reinhardt, a fellow with a great deal of experience in international hockey. How did you find them in face-offs? They were supposed to be weak, and earlier you just saw Lanny McDonald get a good chance off the draw. How were they against you?
Well, I think that, we've been taught a little bit differently on face-offs than they have. At no time do they ever cheat on a draw at all. I think they play some mind games now and then. Face-offs in the center ice area, they don't bear down as much as we probably do sometimes. But when they get in their own zone and in the offensive zone, that throws you off a little bit, and they bear right down.
Soviets bring it out. Right in on goal, and the backhand shot by Svetlov goes way up into the crowd.
Well, you were right there. They bared down, won that face-off, and they broke out for a breakaway. Another fine save by that man right there, Don Edwards, who's returning after a month away, and boys, he made some big stops. But you're right, Don Chevrier, he's had a great track record against the Soviets, and you feel confident. You see how he stood up? He gave him nothing, and he got a piece of it as he was trying to Svetlov trying to go for the upper corner.
I have to wonder if the Soviets are trying to set up the Calgary Flames a little bit. They've iced the puck a few times, trying to go for the high man. I look to see the Soviets make the short pass and then throw it up the middle a little bit more.
This is Russell for Calgary ahead to Hindmarsh to the center ice area. Hindmarsh drifts one wide. Pushkin's stick has it roll up on top of the boards. Quickly the Soviets are there. Russell at center ice keeps it away from Timonev. Backhanded down by Hindmarsh. The Soviet captain Fetisov to Krutov. Larionov can't get around Bridgman. Kazatonov to Timonev inside the blue line. And Aranta. Hindmarsh kept in. Shot drifts wide from Kazatonov. Fetisov overskates it. Hislop just fails to clear. Larionov ever dangerous, swirling in front, drops it for Krutov. Tried to feed Larionov and gave the puck up to Bridgman. Hislop to Eloranta. Eloranta made the pass back to Russell, who keeps it in. Then his weak backhander is stopped by Fetisov. Timonev. Fetisov shooting, and it's wide. Krutov right back in front again. Timonev got turned around. Up with it comes Hislop. And back inside the Soviet blue line it goes as the Flames change on the move. We approach the 5-minute mark of period 2. It is 2-0 for Calgary over the Soviet Union. Flames endeavoring to tie the series for the NHL. Poplinsky with Jackson. Okasak trailing. Okasak shot goes wide. Bergeron keeping it in, the right point. Okasak dug it out in front for Jackson. He couldn't get his stick on it. Broken up by Dunn. Beating Poplinsky. Puts 2 Soviet defenders. Into the corner he goes, then gave it up to Shalimov. With Shepelev and Kapustin. Shalimov shooting, blocked by Bourgeois. High off the backboards in the Calgary corner. Poplinsky jams in there now. Soviets trying to freeze it for a face-off. The Flames finally do to take off the heat. 5 minutes and 40 seconds into period number 2. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. Coach of the Flames, the former U.S. college coach, Bob Johnson's done a good job preparing this team tonight, Lou.
He certainly has. He's had a great deal of experience against them already.
For the Flames, Conroy for Reinhardt. Reinhardt being hounded there by Vasilyev, but got it out to center ice. Lykov to Gerasimov. Open up by Schwinnard, but Fetisov is there. Randy McDonald can't get to it. Vasilyev coming up with it. Starikov. Gerasimov inside the blue line offside. Bykov trapped in there.
You know, Wayne was talking earlier about, as we look at Dougie Reisberg playing the wing, about the Soviets breaking out, coming up the boards. What they try and do, we had Dr. Horsky from Czechoslovakia in this year. European teams, Wayne, their first outlet pass usually goes to the boards, and that's what Bob Johnson's taken away from them tonight. Then they go up the middle. And what they are having problems doing right now is getting that puck to the wing on the boards, because Calgary's been effectively taking it away from them.
They're playing very smart, Calgary, taking that pass away, as you said. And I'm wondering if the high boards is bothering the Soviets a little bit right now. I don't think they've ever seen boards like this.
I'm sure they're having problems jumping over them when they're changing on the fly.
Got to be careful doing that. Reinhardt getting it up for Conroy. McDonald. Down it goes, in behind. Pushkin, the Soviet goalie, beaten twice on power plays tonight for a 2-0 Calgary lead. Svetlov with it now. Hits the Flames blue line. Splits the defense, but Edwards steers it away. Puck bounces high in among the spectators. Face-off to the left of Edwards.
There's
about
one of
7 minutes gone in the period.
There's one of their regular defensemen. Perukin's been around for quite some time. He, along with Fetisov and Billy Itinoff and Babinoff, are the 4 mainstays of that defense, especially now that Vasilyev's gone. Wayne, did you find them playing differently against you than NHL teams?
Well, I find it a little bit different, but the one thing that do similar that the NHL teams do is they played Fedosov a lot against my line and against me out there, and that made it a little bit difficult.
This is Svetlov against Russell, being steered off to the corner. Russell with a stranglehold on him. Lewis right there. No penalty called as Svetlov lost his helmet. Now Nilsson goes flying. LaValle for Calgary. Left it for Russell off the side of the goal. And it's passed back between the point man all the way down to Mushkin. Semyonev. Right wing pass for Krutov. Semenov with him. Krutov going in too far. Swings it around the other side. Loose Soviet helmet left on the ice. And it's cleared down by the Calgary Flames for Nilsson. Krutov fell all by himself. Larionov. Now Timonev gets a bruising body check from Russell. Sliding down, there'll be a penalty call to Bill Russell of the Calgary Flames. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment.
Coming up on a 3-on-2 break, sees Timonev coming with the puck, and Timonev had him beat. He's going to hook him and pull him right down there. He'll get a tripping penalty. Russell can't move up on a 3-on-2 situation and force the man in a situation like that, because Wayne, I bet you love to see that happening to you.
Well, it's nice when a guy lunges at you, so to speak, and makes it a little bit easier.
Quickly as the Flames begin to kill off this power play, it is shot down to Mushkin's doorstep. Soviets only 2 for 19 on power plays in the series, but you get the feeling that low percentage can't last forever. Here's Krutov coming in now. The pass back to Kazatanov. With Fedosov shooting wide. They have been wide many times with slap shots from long range. Fedosov being chased by Riseborough. Now Larionov. Larionov had it taken away by Heinmarsh. Back down the ice it goes. A minute 19 left in the penalty to Phil Russell. Kazatanov beating Larionov. Dropped back too far for Shalimov. Outside the line, Fedosov with it. Soviets again. Not very impressive on this power play so far. Kapustin takes the pass from the left board. For Larionov, right in front, he scores, rolling it in past Edwards, who's come out to meet him just off the inside of the post. It's 2-1.
That's true. As a fine pass from Larionov on the side from Kapustin. Larionov taking this pass right here. He sees Edwards moving out. Look at him. He goes to his backhand. A lot of room, even though he's being taken out. You think Edwards moved a little too quick there, Wayne?
Well, Donnie's got to come out and force him. As you see, two Calgary players went to the one side. Patience on the part of the Soviet player in front of the net, not to rush himself, and just easily tapped it in.
Kapustin and Kazatanov on a power play goal reduced the Calgary lead to 2-1.
Well, you're right, Don. You thought that it couldn't last forever, and it sure did. And you can't give them too many opportunities. That time, just a little pass off the side. And Larionov moving in had a lot of net, but he made a real wide deke, which is tough to do.
Coming up, the Soviets, the North Stars in Minnesota on Tuesday. The Soviets, the Philadelphia Flyers to wind it up the Spectrum on Thursday night. You'll have both those games for you right here. Punching body check from LaValle. Long shot in on the Soviet goal. Shalimov digs it across the line and has it now at center ice for Kapustin. Kapustin swings into the right face-off circle, ridden off by Richie Dunn. Shepelev gets it out, picked up by LaValle. There's a delayed penalty being called now. It's against the Soviet Union. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in just a moment.
Well, this man number 6, Richie Dunn, has drawn 2 penalties. That one for interference. And earlier he had drawn one on Vasilyev for holding. He takes the man out well. He frustrates the Russian. Now Kapustin in the penalty box. Power plays being very prevalent here tonight in scoring.
Calgary is 2 for 2 on power plays so far. Soviet goal also came in a power play situation. 2-1 Flames. Renard for Nilsson, shooting it down. Back in front it comes Nilsson. Oh, he set up to get the shot away and rolled off his stick, of the Soviets golf it down the ice. Reinhardt in behind his own goal. Member of the Canada Cup team. Along with Edwards, Lanny McDonald, Chouinard inside the blue line, rolls it around behind the Soviet goal. But quickly Vasiliev coming up with it, sending Bykov away at center ice. Back to Vasiliev, one-on-one. Vasiliev passed over to Starikov, loose in front of the goal, and swept away by McDonald. Close call for the Calgary Flames with a man advantage right there. 55 seconds left in the Soviet penalty to Kapustin. Reinhardt, Bridgman got himself trapped offside. The pass off his skates.
We were talking earlier that National Hockey League, we have a set pattern with the defense sitting at the defensive side and the forward sitting at the other zone. And a few times tonight, the Soviet players who don't use that system have had trouble coming on the ice with the small benches here. So maybe one of these times Calgary might be able to catch him on a play like that.
Wayne, I want to remind the people the Labatt's players of the game will be awarded at the end of the contest. Each team chosen by our telecast crew, and they'll each receive a Panasonic Wave mini stereo cassette player.
And a fine opportunity by the Soviets, killing the penalty. And that man right there, Vasiliev, number 6, ever dangerous all night long, and probably shoots the puck as anyone else on that hockey club, probably as well as anybody in the league. He's a fellow with that bullet shot.
Soviets have a goal, but in the first 11 minutes almost, they have only had 3 shots on goal. They outshot Calgary 11-6 in the first period. 2-1 Flames. Here's Poplinski shooting it down the right side. Kazatanov to Krutov. Poplinski bumps him. Tries to gain possession. Gets it back to Eloranta. Way over there for Lavallee. Lavallee in front. Delayed penalty indicated here against the Soviets. Poplinski could not get possession. High sticking called against the Soviets. They'll be 2 men short for 23 seconds.
And this is something Calgary really should capitalize on. They've got an excellent power play, as they've demonstrated already. And now with 2 men advantage, they should have got that puck to the Soviet man right away. They played about 10 seconds while there was a delay. When you see that penalty, the goalie hadn't come out, you're down there, you might as well give the Soviets a puck immediately and get the extra 2-man advantage. They still do have 23 seconds on it.
Something different to see. The Soviets taking all the penalties instead of the Canadian teams. It's nice to see, though. It's a good change.
A little refreshing, you're right. Especially after Quebec the other night. The penalty to the team captain, Fetisov.
Soviets right now trying to slow things down, getting their people a little rested. They are somewhat frustrated by the strong Calgary forechecking tonight. Calgary playing a very, very good game solidly, and as you pointed out, Don, Soviets with only 3 shots thus far in this period.
Flames holding a 2-1 lead of a 2-man advantage for a few seconds here in the second period. Fetisov held in by Chouinard across to Reinhardt. Here is Chouinard now, closing into Reinhardt. Reinhardt shoots wide. Great scoring chance right there. Back to Reinhardt again. Blasts the slap shot. Bushkin hangs on. 5 seconds left in the first Soviet penalty.
Well, that's what the Soviets wanted Reinhardt to do there. Reinhardt's in good scoring position at the top of the circle, but the Soviets had cleared the lane, letting Mushkin see it. Someone's got to get in front and screen Mushkin on that shot.
They're making mistakes that I've never seen them make before. Krutov had the puck in front of the net, a lot of time to ice the puck, made a bad play and just shot it back to the defenseman, the Calgary player keeping it in, and almost an opportunity for Calgary to score another goal.
It's behind the goal for Bridgman, around for Chouinard. Can't get there in time. The Soviets clear. The first penalty is up now as Kapustin's back on the ice. 1:31 still left in the penalty to Fetisov for high sticking. Bridgman, long shot, handled easily by Mushkin. He'll play it safe and cover up.
Well, the Calgary people shouldn't be complaining about that, because he's allowing Calgary the opportunity to win a faceoff in his zone. This is something Calgary's been extremely dangerous with. When Riseborough or Bridgman wins a faceoff, if they get Lanny McDonald in shooting position, and right now they got Chouinard out there, those fellas can put him away.
Bykov on the faceoff against Mel Bridgman. Battling away forward, it goes to the Soviet player, shot down the ice by Gerasimov. Reinhardt left it there for Guy Chouinard. Now Chouinard, 1:05 left to the Soviet penalty to Fetisov. They bring it inside the line. Lanny McDonald to Reinhardt. Around it goes to Nielsen. Now Chouinard. Across the ice to Bridgman. Bad pass for Chouinard. He's got to chase it, but he gets it in front. It's 3-1 Calgary.
Chouinard knew exactly where Lanny McDonald was. Even though it was a bad pass coming across the ice, he didn't even have to look. He just fired it right across to the Rocket McDonald. McDonald getting that shot away extremely quick right there, up and over Mushkin, putting Calgary back in front by 2 at 3-1.
I was going to say before the goal that looked for Calgary to put Lanny McDonald on the top of the face-off circle there as they did on the first goal. The rebound that Ken Nielsen scored, exactly what they did, and that's exactly what they want to do all times.
It is McDonald from Chouinard and Bridgman. Another power play opportunity cashed in by the Calgary Flames for a 3-1 lead. Now Poplinski brings it out of his own zone. Makasak setting up. Trucks and all, and it was taken off his stick, a bouncing puck as he closed in on Mushkin. The Flames are flying right now with 7:06 to go. They lead it over the Soviets 3-1, and the NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. 3 power play goals have done the trick. Nielsen, Chouinard, McDonald, the last one for McDonald. From Chouinard and Bridgman, 12:24 of this, the second period. Fetisov. Left for Poplinski. Rio trailing him. Can't get his stick on it. Krutov now. Long pass. Larionov being bumped by LaValle. Phil Russell, the Calgary captain, shoots it down to that Soviet corner again. Poplinski going in after it. Larionov. For Kazatanov, and oh, he's way over the net with that shot. Into the crowd.
Well, speaking of fellas that can shoot, this fella, Kevin LaValle, right there has got one of the hardest shots in the league, hasn't he, Wayne?
Well, there's 2 people on the Calgary team that we don't want to let shoot the puck, and that's Lanny McDonald, of course, and Kevin LaValle's the other person. He gets in just at the top of those circles, and he knows where it's going all the time.
By the way, he doesn't weigh 102 pounds.
Maybe that's kilos.
If he did, he'd be next door for the races this afternoon. Well, that's harness racing, isn't it? 182 is the correct weight for him. Semenov gets it back to Pervukin. Lanny McDonald, he's played a whale of a game for Calgary, but can't clear just now. Now gets a second chance, beating Chouinard. Chouinard chasing it down the ice, can't get there in time. Calgary is called for icing with 6:16 left in period 2.
Well, Lanny almost had Chouinard away, and Chouinard's got great speed and a fine shot. He just missed that pass. He'd have been down alone, but things are going well for this fella right now, Chouinard. He's made a couple of fine plays. He scored a goal, set up another goal, playing well on that line. And one thing about these shooters that are scoring like McDonald, Wayne, you feel it's going to go in the net when you're scoring goals. McDonald must feel everything he shoots is going to go in.
Well, he's got it going very well right now, and you know, it can't happen to a nicer person. Lanny's a tremendous man off the ice and on the ice, and he has things going his way right now, and he's going to score a few more goals before it's over.
Semenov won the draw on a rolling puck, had to be pounced on quickly by Don Edwards. 6:12 to go now in the second period. Calgary got the lead in the first. Nielsen's goal. They have outscored the Soviets 2-1. Bernard and McDonald are applied for the USSR. Larionov, and all goals tonight have come on power play.
That man right there had an excellent power play at the University of Wisconsin, the top power play in college. He's a very wise coach when it comes to power plays also.
Semenov beaten by Bridgman on that faceoff. Bourgeois starts at left side Calgary. It is shot down the ice inadvertently, hopped over a stick. But again, they'll call icing against the Flames with 5:59 as the pace slows appreciably here late in the second period.
We had a great deal of success against the Soviets winning our hockey game 4-3. The thing that we wanted to stress most before the hockey game is that it was never too late to come back to pick up a man. And if you watch the Soviets, it doesn't matter if they're going at top speed or half speed or just gliding over the blue line. They're always looking for a person to drop the puck to, and they're very successful at that.
Indeed they are, Wayne Gretzky. Semenov won the draw. Slap shot is blocked. Here's Reinhard now trying to lead the pass up to Heinbach. Hopped over a Soviet stick. No icing on the play. It's waved for Vukin to Svetlov. Getting it out now for Semenov. Heinmarsh watching him. Svetlov takes it inside. He goes upside down over Bridgman. Left point for Vukin. His shot deflected but blocked by Edwards, and Heinmarsh will backhand it out of harm's way. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second period. 3-1. Calgary leading the Soviet Union. Offside is called at the Soviet blue line. And what a hit a moment ago we saw, Lou Nanny.
That's right, and one thing that this game is getting, we're getting a lot of contact, and you know one thing, the Russians are getting a little frustrated. Calgary checking very well, staying right with the man, and I'll tell you, they're getting caught in some instances that you haven't seen them hit like that before. Calgary's staying right on top of those people.
Svetlov up and away. Fetisov for Starikov. Drops it to Vasiliev. He fell over the blue line. Now Nielsen. They'll be caught here, delayed offside. They now do whistle down. 4:58 to play in the second period. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. Calgary ahead, 3-1. Want to remind you, in the Neil Simon comedy, The Chief Detective. Monday night, CTV movie on January 3rd, tomorrow night. Right now, we've got ourselves a great hockey game here, the fourth of 6 Soviets in NHL. The Calgary Flames playing extremely well here on home ice to Stampede Corral, leading by 2. Vasiliev passed it back out. Fetisov's shot is wide. Russell is sitting on top of a Soviet player, finally lets him up behind the goal. That is Vasiliev. LaValle on the left boards. Starikov takes a run at him. Vasiliev lets a shot go blocked. Here comes Nielsen. One man to beat Fetisov with LaValle, and he couldn't get the pass to him. For Rio, he can't deliver a pass to him either. But it's still inside the Soviet zone for LaValle. Kevin LaValle fades off of the boards and is bumped by Vasiliev and finally forced out to center by the Soviets. Just over 4 minutes to play in the second period. And both teams changing on the fly. Jackson against the boards. They'll hold it there for a faceoff.
Well, Kent Nielsen's a fellow that's got an outstanding shot. When he broke down that 2-on-1, he should be taking that shot rather than looking for the good play. You look at a very tired Phil Russell, and boys, he played a tough game down in front of that Calgary net. He's making sure that goaltender Don Edwards is able to see everything.
Here's Bourgeois having it hop over his stick. He's got to chase it down the board. Rattles it high off the glass, but it's still in the Calgary zone. Bourgeois again will clear it this time. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left now. Jackson hit hard by Vozakov. Shalimov with it. Kapustin and Shepelev trailing. Kapustin, the pass back to Shalimov, didn't get there. Bourgeois coming up with it, sending Poplinski away at center right. Hits the Soviet blue line, the left wing pass. Broken up. Kapustin for Shepelev. Shalimov steers it in front, back to Shepelev. For Kapustin, look out! Great save by Edwards, cleared off by Kapustin. Held in by Babinov. Then Bourgeois puts a bear hug on the Soviet player, and they freeze it for a faceoff with 2:58 left.
Wayne, what could that Kapustin have done? Edwards standing right there all alone after he gets the pass from Shepelev, and Edwards just beat him.
Well, we see something a little bit different than what we have in our hockey. You see Kapustin, who had the puck on his backhand, and normally the NHL guys will get a little bit excited in front of the net and take the backhand, but he took his time and waited patiently and tried to wheel around and make a move on Edwards, which is very different from our hockey. And I don't know what he could have did there, either take the backhand or do what happened, but I think most guys would have just turned and fired it.
Just a fine play by Edwards.
He's standing up very well. He plays his angles tremendously, and he's having a lot of success tonight.
The only time they have beaten him, he was down as he came out to meet the play and out of position, and Larionov rolled it in so slowly off the inside of the post. It is 3-1 for Calgary. Bernard digs it free for McDonald. McDonald against Kazatonov, digs it right out in front. They couldn't relay it. Fedosov. Krutov. Ahead for Timonev. Timonev drags it in to the far side. Picked up there. Not cleared by Calgary. Conroy left it in there. This time he gets it out over the blue line to Lanny McDonald. Fedosov closing off McDonald. Lanny carries right on. Big, strong McDonald has the puck. Only one hand on it there. Finally gives it up to Fedosov, who sends Krutov away. Larionov shot from an angle blocked by Edwards. White point for Kazatanov. Now Reinhardt for Calgary. Russell having difficulty. Finally McDonald against two Soviets. He's tired. They'll change. Just dumps it inside the Soviet zone. 1:37 to play in the second period. 3-1 Calgary leading. And now the aggressive Calgary Flames are beating the Soviets with the puck on many occasions. Here's Hislop getting it. Svetlov is tied up. Not cleared, and Aronta's shot is blocked by the sliding Soviet player. Now Semenov, long right wing pass. Inside the line they go. Stick check. Richmond has it now for Calgary. El Aranta. 1 minute to play in the second period. Down behind the Soviet net by Bridgman. Flames changing. For Vukin. Sportsov. Couldn't get around LaValle. LaValle then falling on the play. Sportsov pops it back into the Calgary zone with 39 seconds to go. Forced out by Hislop, doing a good job of two-way checking for the Calgary Flames. Edwards gloving it, leaving it for Dunn. Svetlov, Vilyaliptonov, kept it in there. Semenov, 15 seconds to go in the period, cleared by Calgary. LaValle shoots it down the ice. Both teams changing again to the final 5 seconds of action here. Here's Pervukin. Gerasimov's shot is wide at the siren to end the second period. And the Calgary Flames emerge with a 2-goal lead. And this hometown crowd here in the Stampede Corral loves it. 40 minutes of the 4th game of the NHL Soviet Series. And the NHL's Calgary Flames a period away from tying it up as they lead the Soviet Union by a score of 3-1. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. He might have 2 hot goalies going tonight. No change at the Soviet goal. Mushkin, the starter, remains there. Tretiak getting a rest. Kazatanov. As period 3 is underway with Calgary leading the Soviets 3-1, and expect some third period pressure and a lot of it from the Soviets. Here's Krutov. Timonev's shot blocked. McDonald and Chouinard got it to the blue line. Now finally brought out by Chouinard to center ice with Riseborough. Drops it for Riseborough. His pass was blocked by Timonev. Then he got bowled over by Lanny McDonald. Play goes right out of the corner. Larionov behind the Soviet goal. Timonev gloves it down at center ice. Then falls. And Aranta being watched by Krutov. Taken off the puck for the Soviet. Fedosov coming up with it. Passed blindly back out there, and the Soviet player Kazatanov wins it and off a skate to a corner. Fedosov giving it up to Chouinard. Pass too far for Riseborough. Timonev. Larionov shot blocked by Lemon in his first test. The hands of Soviet shooters early in this third period. A little over a minute gone. Russell back to center ice. Kozakov. Delayed offside. It's called now as it's touched by Timonev.
Well, Lemon looked very sharp on that save. He had to get that leg out quickly. A good shot, and Lemon made a good save. That's the way you want to come in. You want to get tested right away, and you want to come up with a save. A fine shot by Larionov right there, down low, but Lemon quick gets the leg out. A little rebound, but it was cleared.
I don't think it matters what hockey team it is. Every team, you always have a key player or key two players are going to spark you. And I think the line of Laranev and Krutov are going to have to get the Soviets going. People like Riseborough, Liney McDonald, Schminnard are going to have to check that line and keep them intact.
Any early leaders in the balloting, gentlemen, for the Labatt's players of the game?
Well, I like that Vasilyev, number 6. He's played an outstanding game and been a threat every time he's been out there.
And the work of McDonald certainly commands attention for the Calgary Flames. We'll have those awards for you, the Labatt Player of the Game awards, as soon as it's over, but a lot of good hockey still to come here tonight from the Stampede Corral. This is Pierre Riot leading it in the corner down there. Nielsen pouncing on the puck for the Calgary Flames. Back to Riot in behind the goal. And it's slapped up by LaValle into the crowd. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. There's the story of the second period. The Calgary third goal has gone to Bridgman as we suspected. Schminnard gets the assist. 12:24 is the time. That is the second Calgary
goal. The
goal.
one we thought he deflected in front of the net.
Right. And they freeze it for a face-off in the Soviet zone. So your goal scorers tonight, Nielsen, Bridgman, Schminnard for Calgary, Larionov for the Soviet Union.
No, it would be Nielsen, Bridgman, McDonald. McDonald definitely got the third goal.
McDonald, that's right. Out come the Soviets with Bykov. Gerasimov falls. Kazatanov carries on. Gives the puck up to Bourgeois. Now for the Soviets. Short side, a quick shot. Handled by Lemonin from Bykov. Starikov. Bourgeois getting it over for Hislop. He didn't clear. Bykov's long shot. Lemonin under fire here, getting warmed in a hurry here. Bykov fanned on it. Lifted high into the right corner. Vasilyev is tied up in there by Dunn. Gerasimov carrying on. Calgary having trouble clearing. Finally get the puck out to center ice. Bykov, 3 minutes into this third period. Still a 2-goal Calgary lead at 3-1. Kazatanov. Checked by Hislop. Now for Mokosak. He is bumped by Starikov. Play a little loose now in the center ice area. Sped ahead to Bridgman. Wins it momentarily. Tied up with the Soviet player Schwartzov. And they battle back and forth in between the two blue lines. Russell now shooting it in for Calgary. Ilya Leptonov goes in behind his own goal. Cross to Starikov. Svetlov had it checked away by Mokosak. Valuable time being killed off by Calgary here. They line up to meet the Soviets at the blue line. The Soviets shooting it in. Russell left it there for Pervukin. Soviets shoot from almost anywhere on the ice. 2 long drives blocked by Pervukin. And Aranta. Penalty here. Mokosak running down the Soviet player center off from behind. So the Soviet power play will come on. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment.
In the lower left-hand corner, you'll see Mokosak coming over, and this is a penalty you don't want to take. He jumped up and he grabbed the Soviet player down. You don't want to get the Soviets on the power play when you're trailing by 2 goals and a holding penalty like that.
I'm sure their eyes are going to light up. They'll be a little excited now.
Reinhardt. Larionov watching him, but he shoots it down the ice. Sheer strength of Reinhardt got that puck free. Larionov feeding Timonev. The Soviet power play hitting the Calgary blue line. Larionov behind the goal, tried to pass it out, had it blocked in there. Defenseman Fetisov way down there in the corner. Can't keep it there, and Calgary clears again.
Some interference by Timonev there, and that's why the crowd was cheering. They were right. He really grabbed the Calgary player down.
Wasn't called. Kazatanov dropping it back. Krutov's pass into the corner. Larionov against Russell. Russell gets there first. Relayed back out to center right, and here come the flames. Nielsen had rolled too far ahead for him, and Kazatanov covers up. Betisov. Right wing for Krutov. Closing in. Krutov scores! It's 3-2.
Krutov in full flight, getting that pass, a long pass, lead pass out of his own zone, going with some speed around the outside from Russell, and fortunately for him, a left-hand shot on the right side, able to make the wide deke across the front. Lemelin right here reaching for it, not quick enough. A good move by Krutov.
Well, exactly what we talked about, taking unnecessary penalties, and what happens, we take a penalty and Krutov goes down the right side and outskates Russell, and maybe Lemelin might have challenged him a little bit more, but Krutov, being a strong skater that he is, made a nice move and put the puck in the net.
Well, that keeps it consistent, Wayne. Every goal tonight a power play. This one Krutov from Betisov and Kazatanov. 5:21. Soviets are down by a goal. Shalimov now shooting, and Lemelin handles that off the pad. Bernard getting it across. Lanny McDonald shooting, and Pushkin has it.
Lanny's been skating very well and almost put another one in the net there.
The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. McDonald also dangerous as he was again right here. Let this drive go from the right side, top of the circle. Pushkin made contact, then he said, "Where's the puck?" Finally found it. 3-2, 14-16 left. Riseborough will take the draw for Calgary. And they'll banish him. Along with a Soviet player, they'll send in Chouinard and Shalimov.
And this is what you don't want to do. Riseborough's a left-hand shot, and he can draw into the slot area. Now with Chouinard there, he's going to have to pull it back to the right side. Not nearly as dangerous.
But he doesn't. Gets it back at the point. A slap shot. Blocked in front. Pushkin down to hang on.
A good shot by Reinhardt down low. And a fine play by Riseborough off the faceoff. Chouinard winning it to the right. He just deflected it right back to Reinhardt. Reinhardt got it away quickly. Here's the move by Riseborough. Screened the goaltender. Down low, Michigan makes the save.
A good sign, gentlemen. The Flames not bothered all that much with the Soviet goal. They'd come right back to apply pressure. That's what you've got to do in a situation like that. Soviets do bring it up the ice now. Edmonton visibly sagged when the Soviets came back to tie it at 2, but then they got going. Pulled ahead to a 4-3 win in the opening game. Babinoff now back inside his own blue line. Bernard watching him in the corner. This is Kapustin out to Starikov. Leaves it there for Shepelev. Shepelev tackled by Conroy. The puck comes down the ice to the Soviet zone. Calgary changing on the move. LaValle trying to set up a long pass to Nielsen. Couldn't get it to him. Long bouncing puck in on Lemelin. Slap shot Baikov. Oh, Vasiliev right there. Couldn't control the bouncing puck. Vasiliev, one of the outstanding Soviet players, digs it in front, and Lemelin hangs on. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in just a moment.
Mikhail Vasiliev, one of the real dangerous Russian forwards around the net, trying to backhand that puck on the short side. Lemelin saving it and making the save right there after the Russian defenseman rushed in. The faceoff comes to the outside of the blue line.
Bridgman winning the draw across to Hislop. Starikov had to hurry to get there in time. Now Baikov sweeps away at the puck and gets it inside the Calgary line. Betisov. Flames playing excellent coverage here against the Soviets. Shot in across the blue line. Over 2 lines. It was touched by a Soviet player. Face off at center.
There's an offensive defenseman, Wayne Kari-Alarenta from Finland, who's played very well this year for Calgary.
Well, we know a lot about him, playing with Jari Kurri, my right winger, being from Finland also. We know that he's got a dangerous shot back to the point. We don't let him wind up with it too often.
.52 to play. 3-2 Calgary holding a lead over the Soviet Union. Flames have been ahead all night. Vasiliev. Darekov's long shot deflected wide. Reinhardt. Vasiliev is everywhere on top of him. Soviets keeping it in. Darekov shooting it down for Vasiliev. Gerasimov with it now. Rykov shooting, blocked by the defense player Reinhardt. And out comes Poplinski trying to feed it ahead for Jackson. Vasiliev again for the Soviets. Flipped by Poplinski. No penalty call. Referee Brian Lewis right there. Ortsov knocked off the puck by Mokosak. Now slopes up again, but it's offside. Vasiliev in ahead of the play.
This might be the most times I've ever seen Russians go offside.
Well, they're very disciplined and not going offside very often. And tonight they seem to be a little bit off their game. They're going offside a little bit more than usual.
And you can tell they're frustrated because Tikhonov is yelling at Brian Lewis, but Vasiliev really was not penalized in any way. He was taken out cleanly. And
Reinhardt made a tremendous play, Lou Nanny, a moment ago there as he came out to block that shot. Soviets putting on pressure. Here is Bykov winding, blasting it, and there's the job that Reinhardt did.
And I'll tell you what else has just happened. I think we're going to get a bench penalty here on the Russians for yelling at Brian Lewis.
I think he got a 10-minute misconduct. Right?
Brian understands a little bit of Russian, does he?
He's going to get a misconduct. Someone's getting a misconduct. Either that or must be an interpreter down there telling Brian what they're saying. Probably by a gesture. Usually they can't speak English.
I think the tone of voice would have a lot to do with it. They knew they weren't wishing him Happy New Year.
Well, there's some discussion, as you can see, down at the Soviet bench. They want to seem perplexed. I'm sure they know very well what has happened. The Soviets, you could tell, are frustrated. They're getting far ahead of the play. They're going offside more than they ever did. Their passing is being taken away from them somewhat by the fierce checking of Calgary.
Oh. Indeed, the captain, Fedosov, he's skating over now to talk at the bench with the interpreter, the Air Canada representative, Aggie Kuklowitz. But indeed, a 10-minute misconduct has been handed out against the Soviet Union. But I think Mr. Lewis really did miss one here, and that's what the Soviets are all upset about.
Well, that's a bit of a dive. Poplinski, if he was really going to put him down, usually I'd see him miss him. But right there at this stage of the game, Poplinski, when he's going to take you down hard, he does it a bit forcefully. Right there, he did have a stick in a way.
Jammed it in.
But what you do, if you're caught in a position like that, if you're a player, you go up and take it take it a little extra. But that really did cause a misconduct because the Soviets got somewhat frustrated. It was a borderline call. It could be called. I don't think at this stage of the game a referee is going to call that kind of thing, because it is a little questionable. Look and see if there's force, if we can see it again on Poplinski. Is there much force? No.
Not a
you
great
can tell
deal.
by the looseness of the lower hand that he's really not taking him out. When you take a guy out and down, you draw the bottom hand back, and that's what he did not do there. And I think Brian Lewis is right in not calling that. I know it frustrated them, but here's the big help. Fedosov going off for 10-minute misconduct.
Well, at least he's going over to talk to Aggie Kuklowitz. I'm not sure it is Fedosov, the captain.
I don't think it's Fedosov. I think it's just the bench misconduct, or the coach has the misconduct. But Fedosov's over there with Mr. Kuklowitz trying to straighten everything out.
Well, if they just give it to no one in particular, that's not going to affect the Russians at all, because they've got some guys who played very little, and they'll just send over anybody.
They have a football team dressed tonight.
Too bad Maltsev's got back to Moscow. They'd bring him out of the stands and sit him in there if they could.
In fact, they might help them. They get more room on the bench. They'll change smoother than
they are
been.
having a lot of problems with that bench down there. It's 2 levels high, and I believe they have 22 players dressed, so they're finding it a little bit difficult to get in
23
and out.
tonight they have.
Well, maybe they'll have Aggie serve it. Aggie's already over there. He's working with them. They'll say, why don't you serve
Well,
it?
they like to play a lot of games with your minds, like I said before. And
Right.
I think what's happening here is he knows he's got the penalty, and he's just going to let it delay as long as possible to give his players a rest. Then you can see Kutov come out a little bit more, and Fedosov, and he can play his older players a lot more.
Well, I think that if anybody's getting their minds played with, it's the Russians, because Calgary's playing much better than the Russians thought. Calgary playing a very good game tonight. And this fella, you know, really, Gamayev going in there and serve it. He hasn't had a shift in 2 periods. It's not going to affect
It's
the
not going
Russians
to
that
bother.
much.
Yeah, it's not going to bother them at all in their offensive or defensive play.
Sergei Gamayev, nominated by Tikhonov to spend 10 minutes in the Stampede Corral penalty box.
Gamayev probably happy he's over there with a lot of room to move when he hasn't been getting any ice time anyway.
And he won't be alone. He's got Aggie Kuklowitz to talk to.
Very impressed with Calgary keeping their composure, not taking stupid penalties.
Right.
Well, Molkasak's was one that he shouldn't have taken, but for the most part, they're checking cleanly, hard but clean, and they're really frustrating the Russians. A very good job by Calgary.
Really, 3 of the 4 NHL teams have handled themselves very well. Quebec did some very stupid things.
Extremely
But
disappointing.
Oilers, Canadians, now Flames have played it perfectly. Keep their wits about them, which you have to do against the Soviets, to win the face-off and shoot it into Dunn. Teams even. Soviets have a misconduct being served by Gamayev. Whistle down. There'll be a face-off to the left of Lemelin, who came in to relieve the sparkling Don Edwards after 2 periods.
Well, and Lemelin being tested early has got him right in the game. I think he feels pretty confident right now. He had been playing extremely well, you know, for Calgary up until the last game against Philadelphia.
Semenov won the face-off. It's over on the far side for Bourgeois, and he hops it out to center ice. Semenov right back on top of the play. Down goes Svetlov. Puck rolling in for Pervukin. Lanny McDonald shoots from way over there on the right boards wide. Semenov. Bilyletdinov got turned around for a moment. Now has it on Pervukin's stick. Being watched by Chouinard to McDonald, and quickly Pervukin in to take it away from Lanny McDonald. Bouncing in on Lemelin. Dunn against Sfortsov. Soviets win it. Right out in front. Bourgeois steers it in behind. Now McDonald, long pass, Chouinard is offside. Called to the linesman as Chouinard was streaking in on goal.
And not by much. Maybe a step. I think he was offside.
Close, but indeed the call was a good one. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment.
McDonald with a long lead pass. Chouinard, one stride over the red line. Offside. Jimmy Christensen called it, and it was offside. A very close play because Chouinard would have been gone.
I think the Russians are as human as everybody else, and you get this late stage of the hockey game with 10 minutes left, 3-2, they're going to open it up a little bit more.
Soviets scored the winning goal of the 1967 World Championships in Vienna that way. It was ruled onside, but it was a similar play to that. Now Krutov right in front of his own goal. Left it there, LaValle plus one, deflected high. And Aranta keeping it in for the Flames. Edison. Simonev, defender goes down. Now Aranta. Out in front, bouncing puck. Eloranda feeds it in behind the goal again. Ryu relaying it down the ice. Icing his way. Marianov to Kazatanov. LaValle. Hislop. LaValle shot. Point-blank range. Blocked in there by Michigan and the Soviet defenders. We are now past the midway mark of the final period. 9 minutes and 53 seconds left. Calgary on top 3-2. LaValle for Hislop. Kazatanov stick checks him. Krutov coming away at the Calgary line. Drops it there. Larionov trying to feed the man down the left circle, and it goes wide. Russell a punching check on Krutov, and it comes back to center ice. Sheffield trying to feed Shalimov. Shalimov getting over there now against Bridgman. Held in by Fedosov off the skate, back to center ice. Bozakov, he lost it. Pass Bozakov again. Fedosov had it hop over his stick. Bridgman for the Calgary Flames. 9 minutes to play in the game. Slap shot blocked in front by Bozakov from Conroy's stick. Shalimov. 4 defenders back there. Bridgman, the lead man, has the puck. Jackson on the right side. Carries on to the corner. Digs it out. Nobody there to pass to. Shalimov Non-stop action now as the puck bounces free for Koplinski at center ice, and he jams it inside the blue line. Pass for Kapustin failed to click. Now Shalimov blasts one, Lemon, and turns that aside. Soviet player with his stick in Jackson's rib. Here comes Calgary. Across the blue line, a soft rolling pass. Mokosak couldn't get a good shot away. Lykov centering it. Flames a little disorganized now. Finally get it out of there. Less than 8 minutes to play. Puck is left there. A race for it. Pushkin comes out to clear to the blue line. Lykov turned around by McDonald. Gets it inside the line. Vasiliev against Dunn. Knocking away at Dunn into the front of the goal. They go for that. No penalty call. The action furious here for Mokosak. Rolling it inside the blue line for McDonald against 3 defenders. Starikov down to the Calgary corner. 7:22 remaining. Gerasimov passed it too far back for Starikov. Russians pressing down a goal at 3-2. Calgary captain Russell against Semenov. Vilyaletdinov takes over. Or Pervukin. Long pass going nowhere. The stick of Russell. Lanny McDonald. Long shift for him. Blast one wide. Schwartzov. Vilyaletdinov. Ahead. Pervukin takes the check, but here is Schwartzov inside the line against Russell. Fouling on the play. Back from the Calgary play. Sustained action here. Russell shooting it down. Shot it from the wrong side of center. No icing on the play. Touched by Calgary, and the runner shut goodbye. Tremendous action. The Soviets coming back now. 3-on-2. The shot goes wide for number 15, Svetlov. Golf high in the crowd. Finally a whistle. 6:13 remaining to play. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. Play in the center ice area just underway as Timonov is taken away by Conroy, and back to center ice it comes. Less than 6 minutes, 5:53 left now. Fedosov falling. Ryu firing it down to the corner. Kazatanov watching him. By the side of the goal. Calmly, Fedosov sends it ahead to Krutov. Timonev on his left. Krutov swings around the goal. Feeds it back for Fedosov. Closing in, he shoots, it's blocked. Nielsen lost his stick, it is broken. Kicked down the ice as the Flames change on the play with 5:20 to play now. More sustained third period action. Larionov lost control. Bridgman a race to the puck. Fetisov gets there first. Bridgman hounding him. It's dug back to Kazatanov. Then to Shepelev. Bridgman everywhere. Forechecking the Soviet Union. Less than 5 minutes remaining. 3-2. Calgary leads. Shalimov coming in. Dunn riding him off. Kapustin carries on. Kazatanov passed it in front. Nobody there on the Flames. Babinov. Heinmarsh. Babinov got to it first. This is like the opening 4 minutes in Montreal. Non-stop action. Shalimov, Shepelev. Inside the line. Shepelev turned around. Loose puck still free. Russell with it. 3-on-2 for Calgary. Russell fakes the shot. Mokosak the pass. Just rolling over the top of his stick. Starikov for the Soviet Union. Sergei Kapustin. He lost it there. Went down inside the blue line. Mokosak with it for Calgary. Koplinski against Shalimov. Soviets getting tired now. This shift has been on a long time.
They got too many men.
Little pushing and shoving right in front of the Soviet bench. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. Chevrier with Lou Nanny and Wayne Gretzky back with you for the final 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Calgary Flames trying to tie this series for the National Hockey League here in the Stampede Corral with a 1-goal lead. Poplinski keeps the pressure on the Soviets. Starikov in the corner. Vasilyev, who's played an outstanding game, but left it there beside his goalie, Mushkin. Now Poplinski watching him as Bykov comes away with it. Shooting it in. Gerasimov bumped off the puck. Round the other side, Conroy. Lukasov. Long pass, Jackson chasing after it for Buka, the speedy defenseman trying to cover pass in behind Poplinski. Now the Soviets come back as the end-to-end action continues. Good check there, Gerasimov knocked down. He's been injured or is down on the play. Maybe doing a little dramatic acting. He's finally now getting to one knee.
Oh, I think he really got hit there. He got hit pretty well. The Calgary Flames are just checking relentlessly. Really impressive. They're not allowing the Russians to have any freedom to move.
Well, I think what happened there, not so much the body check itself, but I think he might have twisted his knee when he got caught in between the two players. Therefore, he had to get taken off the ice, but I think he'll be okay.
Standing up at the blue line, this is Calgary coming right there. A good body check, good collision, a lot of work. Hindmarsh coming back, defenseman standing up. They're not allowing the Russians to come in the zone and three-wheel at all right now.
3 minutes, 4 seconds left. Skinnar. Face-off going to Fedosov inside the line. Off Larionov's skate. Krutov tries to break quickly. Skinnar has it for Calgary and dumps it back down to the Soviet corner. 2 minutes and 48 seconds left now. Demyanev. Lost out, Riseborough with it. Riseborough in the center ice area. Beats Skinnar. His shot is wide. Big rebound for Riseborough. Can't get to it. Krutov against Dunn. Forcing it inside the line. They whistle it down. It's called on an offside just outside the blue line.
Well, even Lanny McDonald, like every other forward, coming back, taking the body. McDonald, an all-around player. He works hard at all times. You see him come here, a real good check. McDonald is a fella that makes you pay the price if you want to carry the puck by him. And at the same time, he's still got this great offensive skill.
Well, the Soviets can relax tomorrow night thanks to Lou Nanny. They'll be at the Dome in Minneapolis watching the Dallas Cowboys and Minnesota Vikings Monday Night Football.
We'll do anything we can to get their mind off the game the following night.
Exactly. Then you got that tour planned, of course, for Tretiak around Minnesota. Try to convince him it's Montreal.
Maybe make sure that it is. I told him already it is Montreal. We just changed the name of the city for him.
Easy enough to do. Here's Kapusta now. 2 minutes and 7 seconds left. LaValle against Shepelev. Gets it over to Ryu. And he rolls it ahead outside the Calgary blue line. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Shalimov, Shepelev. Shepelev to Shalimov. Couldn't connect with him. Now Nielsen with Rio coming away. Left wing pass for LaValle. Stops against the boards. Rio's shot blocked by the Soviet goalie Mushkin. Pervukin being checked by Nielsen, who's had too few victories against the Soviet Union in his career, would like one right here. As with everybody across the country tonight, and certainly here in the Stampede Corral. High stick gets hit down, 1:25 to go.
We're getting down near the end of the hockey game, and very uncommon for the Soviets to pull their goaltender for a sixth attacker. Be interesting to see whether they do that here this evening.
Well, they didn't do it against you in Edmonton. They didn't do it in the Olympics. One thing about the Soviets, we don't pay attention to it, but they pay attention to the scores. And they can go back to what they lost before in every other game, and they always go by total goals. As we look at the time left in this game.
The great series won by Paul Henderson still is on a plaque in Luzhniki Stadium. 32 goals, 31. The Soviets won that series, they say. Total goals. 1 minute, 10 seconds left as Timonev is inside the line in difficulty. Drops it for Larionov. Rutov goes again. Oh, he hit the post. Here's a rebound coming out now. Kazatanov gets a blast away. Reinhardt is hurt on the play. Getting up very slowly.
That shot went right off the side of his head. Reinhardt now just reeling back again. He went out to block the shot, lost his balance, because you don't block a shot with your face forward. Lost his balance, came off right off the side of his head. One thing when you're blocking shots, especially at this stage of the game, if you get down by the hash marks towards the goal, you block on both knees. If you're going to block out by the blue line, as we look at that real close call, Krutov shot hitting the pipe, you block on one knee, because if you block the shot, you can be up and get a breakaway. Here's Krutov going around the far side. He got a good angle because he's left-hand shot, but he hit the pipe, and as that puck came out to the blue line, Reinhardt making a good block of the puck, but he blocked it with his hand, I believe. He's a little stunned. Look at this. Now watch his head come forward. You see the shot right there off the helmet. But I think, fortunately, the helmet took the blunt of the blow. He's a little dazed, and he played a fine game, as did all of Calgary's defense tonight, Wayne.
Any young player in doubt about wearing a helmet? There's a good reminder right there. They do come in handy.
They're always nice.
You see, here's another angle. Kazatonov shot, maybe off the stick. That's right, it did. And onto the helmet.
Just tipped the stick a little bit. It's very unfortunate in an exhibition game like this. You don't want to lose any of your key hockey players. Ball's a very big part of that hockey club.
Well, exhibition is only a word. When these two countries play, there's no such thing as exhibition.
I was going to say, this is some exhibition, isn't it? The intensity, the emotion here in the final 48 seconds. Lemelin hanging on.
Did you see that? It hit Lemelin in the mask. He sort of reached for it. It was fluttering. It hit him in the mask, went down, and he covered up on it. Soviets put a little pressure. Right now, Calgary's got to keep the puck ahead. Just get it out of the zone and try and put some pressure on so they can't get in.
What a tremendous game the Calgary Flames have played against the national team of the Soviet Union. 46 seconds, the time remaining as we keep our eye on that. Kazatonov has his drive blocked. Russell in the corner can't clear. Krutov lost it. Past Wise for a stick. Larionov shot it to the Kazatonov. Lets it go to save by Lemelin. A good save, maybe a game saver. 30 seconds to go. Fedosov can't control it. Wise throws upended. It goes inside the Soviet blue line. Calgary determined to hang out to win this. McDonald is everywhere. 15 seconds to go. One last attack here for the Soviet Union, but McDonald steals the puck. Randy McDonald against Kazatonov. Takes it down to the corner. 3 seconds to go now. That is going to do it for Calgary Flames.
They stopped the clock for some reason.
They stopped the clock. There'll be a face-off perhaps with 2 seconds to go.
That's right, Don. You know, the crowd was just exuberant here tonight. No one could hear. The crowd was yelling so much. No one could hear. The Calgary team jumped on the ice, and the whistle hadn't blown yet. Lanny McDonald playing an outstanding game, very wisely keeping the puck, controlling it along the boards, not allowing it to be frozen.
I think Brian Lewis called a penalty, and that stopped the clock with 2 seconds to go.
I don't think it was a whistle. They just stopped the clock unintentionally.
That is it. It is all over. The clock's down to 0-0. Flames mobbing Lemelin, who will share this victory with Don Edwards, who played the first 2 periods. The Soviet captain Fedosov inquiring about the mix-up on time.
And some outstanding play by the Calgary defense also. Phil Russell, just a yeoman job back there, working extremely hard. All the defensemen playing well. Mel Bridgman up on the left side, checked extremely well, never given that puck away. But this man right here, Lanny McDonald, played as well as anything.
Well, he's got my vote as the best player of the game. We'll see how it turns out. Soviets now appear satisfied. The time has expired, and indeed they are going to roll out the red carpet.
Wayne,
what those presentations?
What did you think about the checking job Calgary did tonight?
Well, I think what happened was, like I said, we had the Larionov line against McDonald line. Dougie Riseborough did a tremendous job helping out. They did a fine job checking.
All right, Wayne, the NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment.